You're listening to Mostly Metal on WVLP. This is Ken, and I am talking to Camden, Cruz, and Sabrina Valentine from the band Seven Kingdoms out of Florida. They've released a new album called Zenith, and they're gonna tell us all about it. So thank you guys for taking a few minutes to talk to me and my one or two listeners.
No, thank you.
Thank you for
we
having
appreciate
us.
you having here.
Things going well for you? Are you at home in Florida right now?
Currently, yes, we are home. We're at band practice yesterday, which is like an hour and 45, 2 minutes away from here.
Mm-hmm.
So we were at practice last night. We came home because we have, chickens, and we still have another round of merchandise that we have to send out for the Kickstarter.
Uh-huh.
To go to and do that, and then we go to sleep, and then we wake up and go back to band practice. So we have our CD release party the next day. So we have a lot of shenanigans. So we're constantly here sometimes and then not.
Well, that's a good problem to have, though, I think.
Yes, it is a wonderful problem.
I have to say that I'm especially pleased about this conversation because I've been in the Prog Power crowd since 2001 actually. Prog Power 3 was my first one. So I've seen your name, the Seven Kingdoms name, bandied about for many, many years.
Yeah.
So, well, let's start at the beginning then, because let's see, at this point now you guys have 5 full-length CDs and at least 1 EP. The first one came out in, what was it, 2007? Brothers of the Night, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then Zenith, the one that you have that's just brand new here, is the 5th of the full length, and then several others in between.
Yes.
That's good. And what's really nice to see is a looks like a very constant core of the band, at least for like the last decade or so. Can you say something about the luck that you've had sort of maintaining cohesion?
I mean, there is, we've all experienced our weirdness, whether it was, we call it the growing pains, like, for example, when Brian was the singer, at one point he decided he wanted to pursue school. So we had Brian left, and then so did, also Corey, and then stepped in Miles. And then I stepped in as the singer. And then, after a little while, Miles decided he wanted to do something a little different. So then we invited Aaron into the spectrum. And then after a while, Aaron decided he wanted to focus more on a different kind of music in his career with the new position he got at his job. And then so we introduced Tyler. And Tyler was with us for a little bit, and then he had other adventures that he wanted to go on. So we decided, since for whatever reason the bass player position seems to be the problem child, we just decided we would go with doing tracks for the bass, and then it's right now it just seems to work out that way for us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. And one of the things I really like over your discography here is there is quite a variety of vocal styles. So I'm assuming it was Brian that was doing the more kind of harsher vocals on the first couple of albums. But even still, there's a mix, right? There's Sabrina, you're singing some, and I honestly don't know who is singing the male vocals at the time. Is that you, Camden?
So actually, the first album, Brothers of the Night, was just solid Brian, and then after Brian left, it was me, and then Miles would do harsh vocals. And we did have Wade Black do a song on one of those, the song Seven Kingdoms.
From Crimson Glory, yeah.
Yeah, and then we went, for The Fire Is Mine, we went kind of by ourselves for a little while. On Decennium, those are mostly me, but we did do the In the Walls EP, which does have Brian coming back to do Stormborn, and so that was a really good song for him to come back and do kind of like a cameo with. And then on Monster, we had Tyler, and then since then it's just me now. Camden has done like the deeper male vocals and some of the lines, but for mostly it's been Brian, Miles, and Tyler.
Yeah, that's great. How do you decide to juggle? at least when you were juggling vocalists around? Like, how would you arm wrestle over who got to sing which songs, or how did that work?
Well, basically what happened is when I took over singing for Seven Kingdoms, it was just kind of like a transition of power, basically, one would say.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I became the vocalist, and then whenever we just decided to add in a talent for that style of vocals, we sometimes would do it live, but because we had inconsistency in that category, we just kind of just decided to do mostly songs that don't require that, because it's, if you can't keep the person who's doing it to be there, it's easier to focus on songs that are not based harsh vocally.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the musical style a little bit. So I noticed on Zenith that there's a little bit more variety in that. There's a couple of tracks that to me sound just, kind of more sort of heavy, hard rockish than, the straight up kind of wham wham power metal sort of thing. Was that something deliberate? And I have to say also that I'm kind of aggravated. You guys made me like a song called Love Dagger.
Yeah, I guess where credit's due. That Love Dagger was one of the songs that Tyler did before he left.
Mm-hmm.
So on that with him. So that's why it's very hairy.
Yeah, very hair metal.
So it was a good song. I mean, we wrote it together. We were finishing it up, you know what I mean, before he left. So I mean, he's still got essentially a writing credit on that song. So I mean, we always enjoyed that, also that side of classic heavy metal.
That's basically where I grew up.
And it's mostly that's an American thing too. Was the straight hair metal? You know what I mean? All those bands were generally from here.
And that's for me as a vocalist. Like, I didn't grow up in the power metal realm. I grew up singing bluegrass, country, gospel, and rock and roll. So for me, that is a comfortable place to reside in that style because I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. So I mean, we like to try to if we're gonna write a song like that, like we try to, it's not quite full blown like Steel Panther. You know what I mean? It's just like it's very that way, but it still sounds like Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah,
yes.
If we were in the 80s, that's what we would sound like.
It is a great song. And you also close the album with that Joan Jett cover, which is pretty good too.
Yes, thank you. That was, so we do the Kickstarter. And so one of the packages or perks you can purchase if you're quick enough is pick the cover. So that's where those songs have been coming from, is our fans have actually chose the songs that they want us to sing. So the only song that we chose was our cover of Boys of Summer.
Mm-hmm. You guys are very busy making videos as well. I poked around on YouTube just to see how many there were. And just on the kind of the original index page that I got to on a search, there were at least 7 or 8 different videos, spanning multiple of your discs.
Yes.
So obviously you guys like doing those a lot?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the ways that people discover you. Obviously people find you on, music platforms, but for, the visual people, they tend to appreciate the videos, and there's a way that people find you on videos that they can't find you on Spotify or any other music platform.
If you were going to recommend to somebody who wants to check you out one of the videos from either the newest album or maybe the one before, which one would you recommend?
Just go watch the 3 that we just put out back to back.
Yeah,
there you go.
And also, I really appreciate Water Dance. Water Dance is one of my favorites. And then Valentine, we actually flew to Puerto Rico to do that. So visually, that's a very beautiful video.
Nice. So I'll put you on the spot again with helping me make a choice, because I want to make sure you guys can take a breath or two before you get to your next live interview there. So you can help me program a set that I will put on my show immediately following playing this interview. Can you make up a couple of suggestions for what would be a really good song to play for people to be introduced to their first Seven Kingdom songs? The second one would be, can you think of one from, way long ago on the first couple of CDs that could show some of the growth between then and now? And then third, can you think of something from a different band that would pair very well with Seven Kingdoms, like a good wine and cheese put together?
Oh, I could do that. You want me to do it? Or you want to do it?
I would say from the, I'll do the old songs. I think that if you want to hear growth, you should listen to Somewhere Far Away, In the Dark, Into the Darkness, or Wolf in Sheep's Clothes.
Okay.
Those are 3 songs where you can hear me specifically in my infancy vocally. And I'll let Camden answer the other 2.
Okay.
Oh, that was the old one. How many songs do you need? Just one?
Give me 1 or 2 from the, let's say, the newest album that really shows what you guys are about.
If it's someone who's never listened to power metal, I'd probably give them Love Dagger.
Okay. If
it's someone that wants power metal, I would just hand them the record. I mean, for real. I mean, it's just like there's things in all of the songs. It's just there. We wrote the song. You know, essentially, to me, a good song if you know you're influenced by different bands and you want to mash up, you know, Evergrey and Iced Earth or something like that, or something. You know what I mean? Like riff wise, you know, that's kind of like Silent Remedy. You know what I mean? To us, it's kind of got that kind of Evergrey breakdown kind of thing.
You like Stradivarius and Amaranth.
Like Stradivarius, Amaranth, and it's like Magic in the Mist. You know what I mean?
All right. I got one more question, and I'm going to let you guys plug whatever you want to plug, Kickstarter-wise, social media-wise, anything like that.
Thank you.
So the name of the band came from Game of Thrones imagery, and there's a lot of songs that have that same imagery, at least on the earlier albums. I'm not so sure about the most recent one. But what's going to happen first? Seven Kingdoms releases a 6th full-length CD, or George Martin finally releases Winds of Winter?
Oh, we're definitely going to have album probably 6 and 7 out.
Awesome.
I don't know. He'll do. I do believe that. So he was working on the whole book, but I do believe at one point he did make a nod at doing shorter books with more. I don't know what you would call whatever, if it's like a short story within a story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's actually technically called. There was play of that, so I don't know. So maybe we'll get a little gift between our next 2 albums from him.
I did look at the chronology, and there's been 1 Game of Thrones book released in the entire run of Seven Kingdoms from beginning to now.
I know, isn't that crazy?
That is nuts.
When you look at the chronological order of it, so it's the books, the video games, us, and then the TV show.
Yeah.
So we did make it before the TV show, but people, because of the TV show, will discover us.
Definitely.
Of that.
Okay, and how can people discover you? You mentioned a Kickstarter a couple of times. I don't know if that's expired or still going on, and how can people follow you online?
So we are on Twitch and Discord. What is the name?
Seven Kingdoms Official on Twitch, and then Discord is just Seven Kingdoms, I believe. We have a Facebook, Seven Kingdoms Official, Instagram, Seven Kingdoms Official, I think.
YouTube is Seven Kingdoms 1.
Yeah, because Seven Kingdoms was taken, so, you know, just the average
the next
thing is just to put the 1 or the exclamation point. So, yeah, and that's pretty much it. We're going to be slowly moving into some other stuff. The Kickstarter's done and came out successful, so
we have our CD release show.
Yeah, we have our CD release show coming up.
First.
Couple other festivals and tours that we can't announce yet, but hopefully next year's going to be busy.
I hope so. I hope you guys make it up Chicago way, because I will definitely come out to that.
Yeah, we will be.
All right, great. So thank you very much for taking some time to talk to the people that like to listen to WVLP. I appreciate it. The next set will be totally dedicated to the Seven Kingdoms. So the songs that you've recommended, and I'll pick a couple myself, and we'll have a good time with it.
I appreciate that.
You bet. All right. Thanks so much. Good luck with your next conversation.
All right. Thank you.
Very much.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.